Of all of our elementary schools that have responded to the surveys, about half of our schools have technology plans. A quarter do not have one yet, and the rest are in the process of either creating or updating a technology plan for their school. Over time, technology plans have changed. Back about 10 or 15 years ago, school technology plans really were dedicated to the things. What things did you want to physically bring into the school? And the students did a lot of passive learnings, whether it was playing on the Oregon Trail or word processing just to know how to press the space bar and make the shift key. But that was a school technology plan. As we moved on, about maybe 6-7 years ago, it became more of an instructional focus, and it was more focused on bringing mobile devices into the classroom, such as tablets and Chromebooks. Schools were being asked to answer how were they using the technology in adaptive ways to help students with learning issues. And the teacher focus was really on how do you use things. So how do you create a smartboard lesson? How do you download things from Promethean Planet? There were less passive uses by students, so students were moving from just simply word processing to communicating with others in the outside world, outside their building. And now we've really come to the point where we're focused on digital learning, research-based reasons why people do things, technology-infused school days using a framework like SAMR or TPACK. The teacher focus is really on the student learning and the tools supporting that student learning, and active use by students to communicate, to collaborate, and to find experts outside the school building to help them with their learning. In 2016, we took a look at the National Education Technology Plan, and tech.ed.gov had some nice images talking about how we're trying to move our students to more active use of technology through peer collaboration, through global connection, through media production and coding, designing, and immersive simulations. But in order for that to work, we need to have the infrastructure in place so that everything can be focused on student learning in a continual progression of the leadership, helping the teachers using assessment, the assessments helping the leaders, and so on. But in order for that to work, you need to have high-speed internet connectivity at the school. Students and teachers and principals need to be working on digital citizenship and the responsible use of technology, high-quality, low-cost devices, high-speed Wi-Fi throughout the school, looking at data and security, having quality digital content and resources, and also assisting students as needed to find access to the internet at home. There is an organization called Future Ready, and this is their look at having a school technology plan focused on personalized student learning. And again, it's that circular motion of collaborative leadership where you have vision, you plan, you implement, you assess how you're doing, you refine it, and you continue to construct your vision. Future Ready also has a district assessment. Now, in the Archdiocese of Newark, all schools are kind of their own district because you make your own plan for your own school. So you can sign up at futurereadyschools.org and you can take their Future Ready assessment as a school, and it will help you think through this planning and decision making to see where your strengths lie as a school with digital technology and instructional use of technology, and where you have areas for improvement. In Google Classroom, I put together a number 11 school technology plans assignment, and you have a couple of items in there. There is a tech plan outline that I've shared with everybody. Every person can make edits to that document. It's really from the New Jersey Department of Ed School Technology Plan outline. And then you'll have access to your own individual plan. If you already have an existing tech plan, you can add pieces that you feel are missing so that when you revise your tech plan in a year or 2 or 3, you'll have those components sitting ready to use. If you're in the process of creating or updating a plan, again, open up that individual plan and add the pieces that you believe you need that might be missing. And finally, if your school has no technology plan, start creating this now. You can share these documents with anybody in your school, and it will give you a leg up on the process. And we'll talk about the machine aging spreadsheet in a little bit. This lays out how we're going to work on the school technology plans between now and our last meeting at the end of April, beginning of May. So in January of 2017, we're going to take a look at the stakeholders and mission and vision statement. You'll begin working on a current overview and where you want to be as a summary, and we'll begin talking about technology inventory. In February, we'll finish up our conversation about the inventory section of a school technology plan, begin looking at goals and objectives. In February, we'll come back and start talking about implementation strategies for those goals and objectives. And finally, in the April-May timeframe, how do you pull together your funding plan, your professional development plan, and your evaluation plan? The first thing that some school technology plans that I've looked at that are missing is a cover page. The cover page is very helpful when you share it with other people so that they know whose plan this is. It's also helpful if you're going to go for a grant or look for funds, because again, they know who it is, where they're from, who the principal is, and what years the technology plan covers. It was mentioned that it would be helpful to have a school email address as well on that page for the principal. The time frame of your school technology should be 3 years. So if your plan is going to be finished this year and begin covering the 2017-18 school years through 2019-2020, then your school technology plan time frame is 2017 through 2020. In the school technology plan, you should have a stakeholders page. And I want you to think about who your stakeholders are. These are the people who are going to be writing the plan, reviewing the plan, and helping assessing it as you go along and refining it some more. So certainly your school technology integration specialist should be one of the people helping to write the school technology plan. If the tech integration specialist is a classroom teacher and separate and different from the technology instructor or your computer teacher, that person should be a stakeholder in this plan as well and assist in writing it. Your principal, of course, is a key member of the school technology committee. You should have a few classroom teachers, 1 or 2 at least, on your team to work on the school technology plan, because they're going to help you think about things that you may forget, such as perhaps you've forgotten that 2 or 3 machines don't work anymore. Or maybe you won't think that teachers are sharing laptops in order to get PowerSchool done. They may help remind you that electricity needs to be updated in a room. When the plan's in process or when it's almost finished, it depends on your principal's interest. You should have a parent or 2 and a student representative take a look at the plan. The parents can be very helpful in case there's fundraising that they're interested in doing. That parent will be aware of what it is that the school hopes to do over the next 3 years, and if they're fundraising, they may be able to help you. And the student representative, again, can give you that student perspective of what you see as teaching and learning and how they might have something extra to add to that conversation. A lot of plans that I looked at have a school technology philosophy or a school technology mission or vision. You're not required to have one of those entries. If you have it, that's perfectly fine, but you should have your school's philosophy, mission, vision statement, whatever it is that you have, right front and center after that title page and stakeholders page, because everything a school does should derive out of the school's philosophy and vision and mission statement. That way, as you're beginning to talk about your goals and your strategies, you can refer back to that mission and vision of the school. After you have that school vision, you need to have some sort of overview. So you want to talk about where your school has been in 2 or 3 sentences over the last 3 or 4 years, where you hope your school will be, what's your vision over the next 3 years. So by the end of 2020, this is how we envision we've moved forward. And you also want to give a overview in as many bullets or paragraphs as you like for what the strengths of your program are right now. So what is going well with technology? Do you have computer classes? What's going well right now? Do your teachers integrate technology in some grades or all grades? What's going on well right now? Do you have digital snow days? Whatever it is that you have, that should be in this overview. So during the workshop, everybody took a few minutes in their personal document from the Google Drive, the individual plan, and they wrote 2 or 3 sentences about where the school's been in the recent past, where they hope to be in the next 3 years, and what the successes are right now in the classroom and technology class. This isn't a document that should be done on your own, but by you giving some starting points, it will help other people who are contributing write. And you'll want to reflect on our school technology curriculum core map. So reflect on where you are with our content and skills and where you want to be in 3 years. You're going to begin looking now through February at the existing technology. Your school technology plan should recap where you are with the equipment you have. If you've been completing the school technology survey at the beginning of every school year, that will give you a leg up on the work. And you will find in drive.google.com that I shared a current set of entries from your answers for the last 3 years of surveys of the school technology. And I've also included something called the Machine Age spreadsheets. If you are a CUSP, CUSP school, this is what I did when I came to your school in May of 2016. If you are not a CUSP school, you can open that spreadsheet now. If you are in classroom.google.com and you are looking at the number 11 school technology plans, when you click open, this is the set of documents I placed under school technology plans. The 2017 to 2020 tech plan outline that I shared is part of the outline plus extra links talking about each of the sections from the state of New Jersey's standpoint, with additions from myself. And we're just talking right now about the current inventory. So it should include things like devices. What kind of laptops, desktops, tablets, Chromebooks, printers, scanners, etc. do you have? What kind of software do you have? What do you own? What annual licenses do you have to pay for? What website subscriptions? What is your internet service purchased, access points, where is the service available in the building and where isn't it available, and who is in your community of users of technology. Starting on page 6 is the information that I've taken from the state of New Jersey and added some extra information. So we'll take a look at that next month. If you go to drive.google.com and go to Shared with Me, you're going to see the files that I've shared over time. If you are a CUSP school in this area, you're going to find that I shared the item called Machine Aging. Those of you who are not a CUSP school, when you go to classroom.google.com, Tech Integration Specialist, number 11 School Technology Plans, I'm going to open that. You can click and you'll be able to create the machine aging spreadsheet. It's a series of tabs at the bottom. It asks about your technology plan, what's the start date and end date, did you send me a copy, E-rate, have you filed it, yes or no, what percentage did you get, and what is it used for, who is your internet, is it cable, DSL, Fios, and what speed do you purchase, does your middle states have a technology component and a copy of that section, and what are your major concerns. Then from pre-kindergarten through computer lab and other rooms, you click in that tab, you write the number of rooms that are in the count, and then you think about what machines are available in those rooms for student use and for teacher use, and how old are they. So if I had very old Macs that were 10 or more years old in the pre-K room, and there's 3 pre-K rooms, and there's 3 machines in each room, that would be 9 machines, and they're desktops. Perhaps your teacher, and over to the right starting in column G, is what do teachers have. So if each teacher has a laptop that's up to date and new, 3 to 4 years old, you might put 3 in that entry. You might have a couple of fairly new iPads that are available for the rooms, and perhaps a smart table between the 3 rooms. So you fill in that information for each grade level. This is K to 2 classrooms, 3 to 5, 6 to 8, computer lab and other. So you might have 1 computer lab, 2 computer labs. You might have a computer lab and a library media center, wherever you have multiple machines. And once you add those numbers up, it's going to automatically total them for you in this spreadsheet across all of those rooms for teachers and students. And lastly, there's a little shared with carts. So how many carts do you have, and what types of devices, and how old are they? So this is what you need to put together to be ready for our February conversation. For February, you need to begin thinking about goals and strategies. So what are the big goals that your school might have for the next 3-4 years, and what strategies are you going to have to attain those goals? I think there might be a misconception that everybody but you has a makerspace or a 3D printer or robotics. And when I looked at the survey results for this year, there were only 2 or 3 at the most schools that had what they consider a makerspace. Only 7% of all of our elementary schools. 16% had 3D printers, and 33% had robotics. 3D printers come with their own set of issues in jamming. They're interesting, but you have to have a plan. And at the top of the screen, I remind you, it's always you begin with the student learning. What is the reason for a device or an item? Also, make sure that you're teaching the technology curriculum, core map, skills, and content before you even begin getting involved in these things. Robotics represents about 1/3 of our schools, and that makes some amount of sense because a lot of our schools have been getting students working in coding, and so robotics is a nice tie into coding.